The Dolphins didn't have a game this weekend. They won Thursday night. They're 4-4, but they were pretty much the topic on the weekend because of this story dealing with their offensive lineman, Jonathan Martin, and also one of the other linemen on the team, Richie Incognito, and everything that's gone on there. Adam Beasley covers the team for the Miami Herald. He joins us now. Adam, Mike Francesa on the Fan in New York, Yes Network, across the country. Welcome. How are you?
Busy. I'm a busy man this week.
I'm sure you are. Tell us what you know and where this is right now.
Well, they're at practice right now. It's the first time they practiced since this all kind of exploded, and certainly two players are missing, Jonathan Martin and Richie Incognito.
When did the guys like yourself on the beat start to hear something was up with Martin or Incognito?
We knew last week that he was out with an unspecified illness. Usually players just miss 1 or 2 days. When he wasn't there for the third day, the antennas went up a little bit. We made some calls. We heard some rumors. And then Jay Glazer was the first to report that he had left the team, and within 10 minutes, everybody in the world knew what exactly happened. But we didn't really know then the scope of what we know now. We thought then it was just a guy, who had a little too much ribbing. He had some things he had to work through. We had no idea, and with all obviously the texts and voicemails that have been released in the last couple of days, the scope of this thing.
Here's the one part I was wondering about. Is this one player, Incognito, trying to either harass or intimidate another player, or is this a group of players of which Incognito is the ringleader?
That's, again, another thing that we need to get to the bottom of. Certainly Mike Pouncey's name has come up a few times in these reports. But, look, this isn't just a Rich Incognito problem. This isn't even just a Dolphins problem. This is a league-wide issue. Older veterans, for one way or the other, take advantage of younger guys, whether it be financially, whether it be, run my errands, carry my pads. Some of it's innocuous. Some of it's just like your fraternity, your morale building.
It goes back to the old hazing,
right.
Rookies kind of stuff you saw in the old football films,
Yeah, you don't know what the line is between
right.
good nature and hazing and
right.
something that's malicious. And obviously the texts and the voicemails we've seen would certainly indicate the latter. But through my reporting this week, it's not just Incognito that kind of got money out of the younger players. There's a young guy on the Dolphins we're worried about today who's essentially broke because the veterans just keep using it as an ATM. So it's not just an Incognito problem on that aspect, and certainly not just the Dolphins problem. But again, it sounds like this went too far, and the league is stepping in.
Wait, there's another player who players use his money?
Yeah, this is what I reported in today's Herald. It's far more widespread than you think, and a lot of players just laugh it off. Hey, well, we got to pay for the rookie dinner. Well, the rookie dinner is one thing. Keep in mind that dinner cost the rookies $30,000. But
dinner costs $30,000.
Yeah, that's what I think Friday night was the rookie dinner, and the veterans crowed about how much they made these guys pay. But again, that's a time-honored tradition that happens once a year. No, I'm talking about every weekend when these guys go out and buy bottles in South Beach. The same guys usually picking up the tab, and it's had a huge financial problem.
So is this something that I've heard about linemen going out and eating together and running up big bills. I've heard about that, but I have not heard this kind of widespread stuff. Now, minor stuff, as we talk about hazing and baseball wearing rookies wear weird clothes or stuff like that, that minor stuff. But this, we're talking about serious hits financially to these players?
Oh, no doubt. Their entire livelihoods are at stake here, and it's not just, someone estimated that one player has gone through $100,000 just in nightlife this year, and that's mind-boggling for a guy who might not make more than $400,000 before taxes, all told. So this is a huge issue. It's not just a Dolphins issue, though.
Wow. I didn't realize that was going on around the league now. That's surprising if that's that big a deal. Adam Beasley. Now, how about this idea of this Vegas trip? Have you been able to find that is accurate? This idea of kicking in this money for this Vegas trip?
No, I haven't independently confirmed that, but basically everything Adam Schefter's written about this has turned out to be true. So I have no reason to doubt it. Look, this is a group of offensive line usually stick together. It's
right.
what they do.
Right.
But I've never heard of if you can't make the trip, you're paying anyway. That's just it kind of boggles the mind a bit. So nothing about this situation is normal. Nothing about this is right. And you just wonder, where's the leadership on this? And that's the amazing part of it. Incognito was part of the leadership council. He was essentially a captain of this team, and he was allowed to run amok until until just recently. So it's truly a fascinating story.
It really is. And you wonder now, I mean, when you bring it up, I did not realize this was going on other teams because, you think of these guys, I always have, especially veterans, of being more businessmen, independent contractors who were there to do a job and, don't get into the frivolity of stuff as they get older, and you expect you got one or two of those guys in every part of every team who are going to just say, knock it off. You don't expect it to really permeate through a team. It sounds like that wasn't the case with the Dolphins, huh?
Well, the problem is that they lost a lot of veteran leadership over the last year. They lost Jake Long, they lost Reggie Bush, they lost Sean Smith. They lost a lot of guys who were part of this franchise for years. And so in that vacuum, look, their quarterback, second-year guy who hasn't proven himself really. So he's not, he can say he's a leader. He's not really, though. And so in that vacuum, it was filled by guys like Richie Incognito and to be honest, Mike Pouncey, who's got his own issues. So, it is a real problem with this team, and I'll be interested to see how they address it today.
And Pouncey, who obviously is one of the Pouncey brothers, and they have been linked to Aaron Hernandez in some regard. We don't know how deeply yet. I'm not accusing them of any serious crimes, but they have been linked in some way to the Hernandez brothers. So we'll see where that takes them in the days and weeks ahead. We're talking with Adam Beasley, Miami Herald. Did Martin, to your information, Adam, did he ever take this to management, to ownership, to the head coach?
That's, again, we were hearing conflicting reports. There's some that say that the coaches known about it for some time and tried to work with him with it and thought he was through it. I think they were more concerned about him emotionally than the environment. So you have to excuse me, by the way. I'm outside Dolphins complex.
That's okay.
They keep turning on tractors. But yeah, no, they, from what we understand, this has been on their radar for some time. They just, I guess, didn't know it was to this degree, or if they did, that's even worse.
Do you know if the head coach at any point in the last days has he addressed this with the full squad?
I'm trying to get to the bottom of that, and I don't know for now, but I'm sure it's something that has to have talked about because, if nothing else, he's got to prepare them for the oncoming onslaught in the locker room. And we're going to talk to them at 4:15. You know what every single question is going to be about.
Now, how about these incognito tweets and messages that have come out, which are pretty incriminating?
No, there's hard to explain those away. Some of the obviously racially tinged and, well, beyond racially tinged, racially inflammatory and threatening. I'm going to go after your family. It's hard to see how that's in good fun. It really is. So, again, you would love to have some answers from Richie, but he's not here. He's not going to be here for a long time, if ever again.
So the Dolphins have done what officially with Incognito?
They've suspended him. He is not here today. He is not an active member. Well, he is. He's getting paid still, but I assume actually going to check that out. But he's not here, and he's not going to be here for the foreseeable future until they get to the bottom of this.
And as far as Martin, where does he stand now? Is he expected back? Is he going to stay away? What's going to happen with him?
It sounds like he's away for some time. He's got to go through some pretty serious counseling, it sounds like. So I don't know. And I think the Dolphins are up against a deadline. They're going to have to decide whether or not to put him on the non-football injury list and end the season. So, yeah, they have a lot of decisions to make, but I would not in the least be surprised if you don't see either of them on the field for the Dolphins again this year.
Adam, I should know this, but I don't right now. Who is the offensive line coach for the Dolphins?
It's Jim Turner. He's actually a former Marine, and he's obviously come under heavy fire, not just for this, but their offensive line was one of the worst in football history.
He's been getting sacked like crazy, which we all know. But has anybody got any comments out of him?
I've requested to talk to him today. The Dolphins politely declined.
I would expect that to be the case. And other than that, have you gotten to any player on the team off the record and got any kind of reaction at all to this about how bad this was on this team?
Well, I think they're still trying to get their heads around it. They were a bit shell-shocked when it first broke, and now they're just trying to really put their arms around the scope of this. Even as of last Friday, they thought this is an internal issue. This is a player who's got some emotional issues, and we need to get him right. Now, obviously, that story doesn't fly anymore, so we'll have to see. And not surprising, in situations like this, they've gone in lockdown mode. They don't want any message coming out at all. So it's going to be tough to break through, but we got to do it.